Okay, welcome everybody. We're down in the Witch's Den today because I wanted to show you and compare a dollar store tarot deck and a seasonal Halloween store tarot that was offered. Now, I lived in BC for many years, and right before Halloween, during and after, they would have these Halloween stores open for about 3 months. And so it was fun to go down and see the costumes and all the decor, but it was really fun to find tarot decks in the stores. So you have to let me know as I go through and compare. Do you prefer the dollar store or do you prefer the Halloween one? So let's take a look at the boxes. Now, this one, the box is not exceptional. It's probably a really bad box. And you can see on the back there, it was put out by Encore Sales. And when I saw these in the store, I cleared the shelf off. At $1 a piece, no book included, but beautiful. Now, then we're comparing it to the seasonal Halloween store, box much better. This has no distinguishing printing at all on the cards. These were, I think, either $7.99 or $9.99. And I bought about 4 of these, gave one away and kept the rest. So now you can see this is the back of the dollar store one, and this is the Halloween one. Now I kind of prefer the dollar store back. This is fun, a little bit bright, younger. They're both identical in size. I have to say, though, that this cardstock from the seasonal store, much better, by probably 1.5 times thickness that this one has. They both have a little bit of glare, and this is what their world card looks like. Now you can see a little bit of difference there in that the one from the Halloween store, the coloring is not exceptional, but it's bright. I find this one a little bit classier. I like the Roman numerals on the Halloween deck, and I'm not opposed to having the world mentioned at the top versus the bottom. There is a difference, though, in that if you're into the symbology, the hieroglyphs, the dollar store has it. This one doesn't. And this is the Hebrew, and they each have a little meaning to them. So if you wanted to include that, this would be the better deck. But I'm just going to show them and see which ones people watching actually prefer. So I'm going to put this down here for a second. I'm going to pause and make some room so that we can start flipping three cards from each deck and comparing them. Okay, let's see how viewers think one against the other stacks up. Ace of Coins, 2, and 3. I'll have to scooch that up a bit. Gives you a fairly good idea. And then we'll go Ace, move that over a bit, 2, 3. I think that gets everybody in and gets you an idea of what they look like. So, this seems a little bit cleaner to me. This much more vibrant. The blues in this are actually phenomenal. So let's continue on and see what we got. 4, 5, 6, 4, now, if I look at the 5 of Coins up close, I get the feeling of it's very cold, and you can see some of the expression in the body and the face. And if we compare it with this one, rosier cheeks. It doesn't seem to be as nighttime, but the snow seems deeper and colder. And I do like the rich gold behind there. That's interesting. I never noticed that before. Okay, 7. Now let's take a look at our ladies here. This one does have a richer golder quality. This one's more earthy. The birds are different. The trees are different. I guess this is more natural. But I do like the little blue castle off to the side there. This seems a little bit awkward in here. I'm not sure what that is. Another building. Oh, I guess it's part of the fence where the vines are coming over. Okay. Now there is one spelling mistake too in one of the cards. So there's our 10. So we get to see what some of the court cards look like. Now maybe let's take a good look at our 10s. Yeah, I prefer the one on the left. But if you were reading at a fair, the quality of this cardstock might be better. It's not, when you go out to the fair and people are handling your decks, you really don't want to be taking an expensive deck. So either one of these, this one I'm more comfortable with, but this one, if it was an all-day affair for 2 or 3 days, might be the better deck to take because it might stand up better, especially if they're hard on cards when they're shuffling. Interesting that there's a little splash of yellow for light on this gentleman's head. And the dogs are blue. How cool is that? All right. So we have our queen and our king, and we head into the swords. Now this one really has a lot of yellow in it. This to me is a little bit intense, but I do like the robe, and his eyes are open and that guy's eyes are closed. There's a little bit more going on in the foreground here. Okay. And as far as the aces go, this seems somehow more spiritual with these rays around it here. And with the cloud and the hand in white, it seems more like an angelic sort of intervention. Whereas this seems more man-made. Okay. Again, you can see the coloring. It's quite different in the 4s. And I'm not sure what one looks more ominous in the 3s. You'll have to chime in and tell me. Our 5. 5, 6, 7. Now, Sneaky Pete is my number 7, and I like him the best in all the decks. So let's compare. This guy seems a little bit more sneaky. And you have to tell me if you like the numbers or do you like the words. Okay, 8, 9, 10. Let's see how the 10s look in this one. Because the 10 of Swords can have quite a gloom to it. Okay, and these are our 9s where you're just not getting all the sleep you deserve. I kind of like how the 9 numbers are set in the darkness of this one. But I do like they included some of the illustration on the bed there. Okay, our pages. Knight, Queen. Well, let's take a look at these knights. This one seems to be going a little bit quicker. And this one has the heaviness that sometimes goes along with the Knight of Swords and his actions and that sense of bravery as he just rushes out to do what he needs to do. And our pages here. Don't like the face on this one. Okay, King and into the Wands. So, and the King, quite a prominent card when he comes up. The faces are a little bit lacking, but interesting. Okay. This has more of a poster almost image where I can actually see these people vying for leadership. Now the celebration card. Well, if you like the idea of celebration, maybe the golds and reds would appeal there. These are quite strikingly different, the coloring. I don't know whether you would use the word garish, but definitely. I like how his mouth is open, though. Appears to be open. Yeah. I've never compared these decks, but I do like the feel of the Halloween store. Oh, I can see that I like the dollar store 10 versus the Halloween. There seems to be a much more oppressive feel here. Okay, we'll see how the kings measure up. And our lovely queens, our helpful queens. I do like the back in that altar. Getting a little bit of a mess here, but do a few more and you can tell me, hopefully, share some insights. If you were going to a fair, which one would you pick for a reading? And are you a rifle shuffler? That makes a difference to your decks when you take them out. And if you do go out and read for other people at these fairs, do you take some of your better decks? Are you willing to risk it? So we'll stop there with the Six of Cups, because this is sort of a sharing event and a nostalgia one for me, because I'm looking back at my trusted dollar store one and considering the Halloween store one. So I'd appreciate knowing, because I have a fair coming up in 2 weeks, and maybe I might consider taking this deck out. I'll shuffle it for a bit, play with it, and just let me know. Have you had any success looking at tarot decks and finding them in the dollar stores? And do you frequent the Halloween stores, and have you actually looked? Because I was quite surprised to find that and quite happy with the cardstock. So, have a great day, everyone. We'll talk soon.